All right, well, hello everyone. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2026, the first kickoff year webinar for small business resources. We want to make sure we start the year off right. We really want to do great things and be impactful, work with all of our partners, all of you that have joined us for the first time or have been here before. We have a new initiative this year we're going to talk about. We want to make sure we continue our mission, which is to make impact, to help people, all of us to bring our expertise, our gifts, our abilities, and our purpose in life for empowering one another, helping each other, and being able to go out into our communities, states, counties, and be able to help others. So that is the purpose why we do this every month. We bring different topics of conversations. We bring different speakers to you just to make sure you get to meet other people that can bring more information to you, resources, or you can partner with them to achieve your goals and mission. So today's topic of conversation, we're just giving you tools to unlock that power in 2026 and beyond. These are the resources that are represented on this webinar today. And some people are not even here today, but we do have many, many other resources and resource partners that work together in conjunction. So that way we can bring this to you every month. We are going to start back doing in-person events for those that live here in the DMV, but we want to keep all of our resource partners connected, whether you are abroad or in different places of the country. This is not a mission for just our region. This is a global and a United States mission and a mission in our communities. So we do want to make sure that we are giving you everything you need and we're working together organically. So some of the people that will be speaking today, we do have some headliner speakers such as George Dines, Andrew Kupi, Angela Terrell. Danielle is going to come to us today and give us some short information that's going to empower us. We also have Johnny Jones. And of course, myself and TK Pryor. We do have our other resource partners, which Carmen Booker is here today. We are going to be doing a few events together on some of the topics that we talk about and we empower people with coming up in February and March. Roderick Johnson is here. We're happy to have him as part of our team. He's part of my team in the organization of First Financial Security, but he also does a whole lot more, many other things that he's going to present to us today to be able to empower us. We do have Paul Randall. He is new to our community. He's not new to me. We've been working together for many, many years, but he's going to be joining us and helping us on our mission as well. And then my partners over at Buckingham Mortgage, we want to make sure we're still keeping real estate finance and investing and people that are looking to purchase homes. We just want to make sure real estate is always a topic of conversation. And we are going to bring to you some information that can help you in 2026 in those regards. So even if you're a business owner, possibly looking to seek out real estate, we do have those options that can help you as well. And then we have Will Holmes. We're happy to have him today because he was a great inspiration. He came to us on last month's webinar, and we share like-minded, similar different things we're doing here and what we're trying to do for our communities. So he's going to bring his expertise and credit and many other things that he helps with as well. So our mission statement is always, we're just helping, empowering, like we said. Within our organization alone, we have other team members and partners with over 25 years experience. With the partners here, we probably have a combination of 60 and 70 years worth of expertise and experience. One of the newest initiatives that we're doing, we're kind of already operating in this for the last 2 years, but we are starting an entrepreneurship initiative. We know there's a lot going on in our society, like the layoffs in government, and it's not just government. People are losing their jobs. We just saw a report on Amazon today. Workers are being laid off in private sector as well as public and government sector. We have AI technology that's coming out fast. These AI technologies and some of these AI programs are going to start taking jobs that usually us as human beings would be conducting. So the way that's going to happen and the way people are going to have to move, we're going to have to start in helping others. We're already entrepreneurs in our own right, but we're going to have to help others on their entrepreneurship journey because they're going to have to innovate for themselves to be able to sustain in our new normal. So the purpose of the initiative is just to address the gap. We know becoming an entrepreneur is not an easy thing. Some of us have different ways of how we started our business and how we, continue to evolve and to grow, but it's not easy. So we just want to make sure collectively as a system, the entrepreneurship initiative is not just for master wealth builders. This is for everybody. We all have to contribute and help other people to be able to evolve. So one of the key things is that with Master Wealth Builders, these are some of the things that we're providing resources currently. We are currently working with county government. We're working with Montgomery County WorkSource, Tri-County Council of Southern Maryland, Prince George's Charles County, St. Mary's County, Fairfax County. I just talked to somebody from the Economical Development today here in Virginia. So there's a lot of different things that we can do in our own communities, whether we live in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, Georgia, or other places in different states. We need to get involved in different partnerships, economic development regions. So we're being able to start tailoring these classes and these programs to be able to educate and help not only just entrepreneurs, but existing business owners, corporations to be able to employ, have proper benefits to provide to their employees. We're just making sure with all of our partnerships and what we're doing, we're able to help people with these options. For entrepreneurships and small businesses, just on this call alone, we have business professionals here that can help in all these areas. We also have corporate benefits. We are partnered with multiple programs that are able to help larger corporations, cities, school districts, county organizations in our evolution in helping entrepreneurs. In school districts alone, just like with high schools and colleges and universities, we're trying to empower people to be able to understand the path of entrepreneurship outside of their usual studies. We're not taught that in elementary, middle school, and high school. I do know there are some programs in some schools that are a little bit more advanced, but as a whole in the United States, there are not a lot of programs teaching financial literacy, development, and the goal of entrepreneurship. So I always, when I start these seminars, this is not about me. This is about all of us. My why, as why we wanted to do this. Me and TK have our own whys, but I have been entrepreneur spirited since I was a teenager. I did the thing that they told us to get a job, to go to school, get it, do different things and evolve. But at the end of the day, I knew my calling was to be an entrepreneur. But, when we're going through life, we have life. We get married, we have children. I went through sickness. I had a month different businesses. I had great successes and I had situations where I had to take a step back. So I wanted to make sure when I came back into business this time, I partnered with the right people and we can collectively be able to work and sustain together. TK, he is the other half of Master Wealth Builders. I would like for you to tell people your why as to why you got into this industry and how you're helping people.
So yes, my why is a little bit easier to understand. I told this story, and sometimes it resonates, sometimes it doesn't. But the idea is when you have a legacy, it propels you, and it kind of propels you faster, right? There are a lot of communities in this world that can say that, and I'm lucky enough to be one of those because my mother left me a legacy. She established a trust, and when she passed away, MetLife called me and said, "Prove who you are, and we have a check for you, $5,000 every month, and it's all tax free." So being melanated and having that type of legacy is rare because that is typically available to every community but ours. So once my mom did that for me, I wanted to get licensed to be able to do it for other people. So that was the only reason, because I spent 25 plus years in IT. And the only reason I switched to finance is because of what my mother did for me. And my goal, honestly, is just to play it forward and do it for my children. But along the way, if I can get some people to listen, then I'm equipped to help other families. So essentially, that's my why. That's what keeps me going. I just want to expose people to information that they probably don't know about, they probably never studied. And the hope is if you utilize some of the principles, the strategies, and the tactics of the super rich, then you can change your future trajectory just by making some different decisions.
All right, thank you, TK, for sharing. So we just want to make sure that everybody has their whys. We're not just in business just to make money or just to, of course, money will come. We have to be profitable in order to be successful, but knowing you're doing and operating in your gift or your passion. So I'm going to introduce one of our first panelists, Carmen Booker. She is a wonderful woman. I'm glad to have met her. She has been in her industry for 40 some years, and she can be a great resource to all of us with all the knowledge and all the experience that she has. And I'm going to let her tell you about what she does and how she can help and impact us. And she's going to give us a few tidbits for 2026 of what can benefit you and your family and how she can help you in your business. You can go ahead, Carmen. Carmen, are you having any technical difficulty? And let me double check. Let me make sure.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, sorry. Yes, I forgot to unmute.
It's okay.
Okay, yes, I'm an attorney and a business and nonprofit consultant. I've had my company called Company Perfect Professional Services for 30 years. And what we do is we establish corporations, LLCs, and nonprofit organizations. And we help nonprofits secure their federal and state tax exemption status and get funding for their programs and services. I also offer board development contracts, and I do trademark searches and registrations to protect your business name and logo on a national level, and estate planning, living trusts, wills, powers of attorney, things of that nature. And TK mentioned this
Carmen, we're
for
having
your
a little
family.
trouble
And
hearing
you
you.
can do that. You can do that by establishing an estate plan using trust. You can avoid probate. As a matter of fact, I have a book. My latest book is called The Estate Planning Kit. And I talk about how to protect your family, protect your assets, save on legal fees, and avoid probate using trusts. And I talk about the different kinds of trusts, such as charitable trusts, and the importance of having powers of attorney and advanced healthcare directives. So I definitely strongly recommend that everyone have an estate plan. And you can give me a call at 240-273. Website, which is compuperfect.net. That's compuperfect.net. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carmen, and thank you for everybody bearing with me through the technical difficulty, but that was awesome. And then at the end of this event, I'm going to announce the upcoming events. Me and Carmen, and we are going to here and us and some other partners at Master Wealth Builders, we are going to be doing an online event specifically about trust, estate, and long-term planning and retirement. So that would be what we will refer you to for all that need help in those areas as a business professional, an individual, or for your family. One of the biggest messages that's being taught, at least from my pulpit, is the importance of making sure you leave a legacy. You protect what you work hard for here on this earth. Your business is part of your inheritance. So we want those that are interested, if you have not already set up a trust, if you don't have a will, if you have not done business succession planning legally, we are going to educate and give you some insights on how to do that. So we definitely will encourage everybody to register for that event, and we will go over all the events that are up and coming. Thank you so much, Carmen. All right, next, Dr. Mazzali, are you in the house? All right, Dr. Mazzali might not be here yet. I'll make sure that he introduces himself, but he's one of our many good partners, and this is the information where you can reach him. All right, Paul, are you here with us?
Shante,
Yes.
I was going to say, please keep in mind that everyone you see on this webinar can also be found at the bottom of our website where it says Strategic Partners.
Okay, so yes, yeah, anybody you talk to today, if you want to
Website,
talk to
you can
them,
click straight into the.
they will be on the website. All right, so Paul is one of our short speakers. He may not be here yet, so I'm going to keep it moving. And I'm going to introduce one of our first speakers for today, Danielle Bowie. I am so happy to have her. She is an awesome woman. She has so many businesses I can't keep up, but right now her primary focus is Prosper Solutions. I'm going to let her take it from here and let her tell you about all the great things that she's doing.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for having me on this evening. My name is Danielle Bowie. I am the founder of Prosperous agencies and corporate teams that need structure, clarity, systems, training, and any practical tools to operate efficiently and confidently. Most of our work equips our clients with business management systems, strategic training and development, operation optimization and support, and any other essential legal and business protections. Our goal and our mission is to close the capability gaps for our clients, reduce risk, and then help them accelerate sustainable growth so that the leaders can lead and the employees can execute the vision with confidence. So that's what we do at Prosper Solutions. We also have a community division called Generations of Impact Network. And that is just an arm of Prosper Solutions, and where we are dedicated to strengthening the family because in the pursuit of entrepreneurship, and collaboration, again, always to build that entrepreneur arm and keep the families together and foster that. We do have an event coming in to see your faces, your businesses represented there. It is a mini small business expo where we will be showcasing a few businesses and which will be our vendors in the community, as well as providing workshop and training and having a panel discussion again to share resources, education, and empower our entrepreneurs as well as I'll put my information in the chat if you guys wanted to reach out, if there's anything that we can help you with, training, development for your staff, if you have operations optimization, and again, our event that's coming up in April. Thank you.
All right, that's perfect. I'm glad that to have you, and we definitely will promote the upcoming event that you have so that everyone us are collaboratively working together. Um, if you think about the advances in the economy and how networking, especially on a micro level, becomes more important, because if we don't support each other, we might have extended challenges. So this network, of course, is designed to have everyone be able to work together. And that's why I said you'll see her information all throughout my advertising. I'm the one that does it. And then you'll also see it on our website also. So it looks like, who is it? Okay, Johnny Jones is the next speaker. Johnny, please introduce yourself and let us know how everyone can take advantage of your services.
So my name is Johnny Jones, and I've been with our company for 17 years, and I love what I do because I love working with new businesses and extended businesses to help support them. And our company has created a process where you have the ability to get access to legal counsel and advice for less money than it typically costs you, because our program works just like healthcare. So everybody pays a little bit of money, but then when you have a need for the service, you go get what you need, and everybody doesn't need the same thing right away. We're able to help them position themselves in case they get named in a lawsuit. We're able to help them do things like employee handbooks and contracts creation on their own. So we're able to help them do that. But what I really love is even if you're working with an attorney, doesn't mean you can't use our service because we have a lot of people who work with attorneys, but then actually still have our service in place to do everything the attorney doesn't do. Because one thing I've learned in working with attorneys, they don't do everything. And they shouldn't, right? They do the things they want to do, but they turn over everything else to somebody else. So it gives us the ability to work with our businesses. Plus, we're in all 50 states. So a lot of times when people have a need for something in other states, we can connect them with an attorney in that state to actually help them to make better decisions. So we're not just grounded in one place. We're able to actually help them beyond everything. And this is a different environment now. And there are three key things you should have. You should have the proper capital. That's not what I do, but you should have it. You should have proper tax advice. It's not what I do, but you should have it. You should have proper legal advice. And I believe that you should have the ability to reach out to your attorney about anything and everything and talk to them about every aspect of your business. And so many of my clients talk about how I've saved them money and time because there were contracts they were looking at. They didn't understand it. The attorney looked at it and said, no, don't do this. Or the attorney looked at it and said, do it, but ask them if they'll make this change. Or they'll say, run. And attorneys were wanting $200, $300, $400 an hour to protect me. I didn't know I could have had something where I wasn't going to spend that much money but still be protected. And so if you're a new entrepreneur and you have an attorney that you're working with, that's great. Still look at what we do so you can understand if we can fit into that. If you don't have an attorney, that's great. Then look at what we do and see how we can help you. I strongly believe there's enough room for everybody to do what they do. You don't have to just say, well, I only want to work with this person, but I don't want. No, we're good. I'm good with whatever you will need. If you just need one thing from me or 50 things from me, it's the same for me. And not only do we protect your business, we also have personal protection as well. So we can protect you and your family because I don't believe you work real hard to protect. But my information is in the chat. I'll drop it back in there again so you can get there. My digital business card is there, johnnyjones.info, real simple. You can go there and you can get a look at everything that I offer, everything that I do. And guess what? Send me your stuff as well because I support everybody. I will send somebody a referral in a heartbeat if I think they can use it. That is one of the things that we do well. So even if you're an attorney like Miss Booker, I gave her a connection because she needed something I didn't do. We do for-profit. And that's the one thing that I really appreciate and love in this. So thank you, Shantae and TK, for putting this platform in place. And we always appreciate everything you do for us.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Johnny. We love to have you on the team and appreciate all of your support.
All right. Thank you so much, Johnny. Absolutely. We love having you. Just make sure if you guys need anything from him, anybody hears anything or sees anything that they want to reach out to somebody on, definitely take their information and also reach out to them. So before I move on, I do want to make sure if anybody has any questions about anything Danielle is doing, Johnny is doing, or Carmen has talked about so far, I am giving the opportunity for you to ask questions in between before we keep moving forward. So that way your questions can be addressed and it can help others. And you can use the hand raised in the chat and then we'll know if somebody wants to speak. And if not, we can keep moving forward. All right, so we'll just move on to the next speaker, but we will allow time at the end if anybody does have questions or if anybody wants to interact with any of the speakers that are speaking today, we will do a question and answer. So I do want to introduce Jennifer. Are you here with us? Jennifer Johnson, you here yet? All right, so Jennifer is my partner and my colleague at Buckingham Mortgage. As soon as she joins or if she's having any technical difficulties, we will make sure that she is able to speak, but her information is on the screen. She is a broker and has her own company called Metro 360 Realty, and then she's also a colleague she also can do the financing for your property as well. All right, so next I want to introduce Will Holmes. I'm so happy to have this guy. He was on our last webinar in December, and I would love for him to introduce what he does. The name of his business should say it all, Blueprints. Business Blueprint Enterprises. Will, you can go ahead and take it away. I'm going to stop sharing so you can go ahead and share your screen, okay?
All right. Can I can everybody hear me? Can I get some ones in the chat if you can hear me? I need some ones in the chat. I want y'all to be interactive. I need y'all to be interactive. We're not gonna sit here and talk to each other all day, all boring. I need y'all to be interactive. Okay, so hello, hello, hello. My name is William, William Holmes to be exact. I'm about to share a PowerPoint. When you start seeing a PowerPoint, I need some more ones in the chat so I can know that you can see it. Because now I can't see your screen. Can you see my screen now? That's what I'm talking about. I like to see some ones in the chat. So, unlocking business potential and growth. That's what I'm going to be talking about today. Credit repair, business funding, and wealth building. Obviously, we all know that it's kind of hard to become successful with the color of our skin. The people, when we become successful, they come try to tear it down. So it's so hard for us to become successful. So I started a business because of how hard it was for us to become successful. And I wanted to make it as easy as possible, just like TK. Me and TK we came to the same conclusion, but we had a different story. So I'm just going to start off by saying this is my website at the bottom. If you ever want to look it up, it's just an intake form. And I'm pretty much just ask you, what are you coming to look for? And then I start off with a consultation. I always want to, see what you guys are looking for and what you need. All right. So who I am, I'm the CEO and the founder of Business Blueprint Enterprise. So Detroit. I'm from Detroit, a Detroit-based credit repair and funding company. Um, I have over 100 clients. One of my mortgage um, I've got somebody a house she went from 580 to 680 in 3 months. Like I'm credit if the credit is no problem anymore. If you're looking at me right now, credit is never your problem anymore. I have all the answers that you need when it comes to credit. Every single answer that you need, I know. I'm a multi-entrepreneur. Right here, Careless Detroit is my clothing brand. Um, you can see me in the picture right here with my Careless shirt on. That's my mentor. He helped me set up my credit repair business, funding company. I also DJ. I'm also a former worker for a motor company. And when I was telling you that me and TK's story kind of coincided, it was because TK's mother left him some money. My dad left me, he was a Ford Motor Company employee of 28 years. He left me, I have two little sisters. He left us all a car and a house, but we had to go through probate. I'm the oldest. I was his only boy. I was his oldest child. His name was William Holmes also, but I had to go through probate, of course, to get all the things done after dealing with obviously my father passing. So when he says set up the trust and things like that, I totally get what he's saying because that's what you want to do. So like I don't want to be too much. Built bosses. That's I want to make a shirt that says built bosses. But let's get into credit. I'm gonna give you like just a little rundown real quick because honestly, this slide right here is why everybody is confused about credit because we don't understand this slide right here. I promise you. So this slide right here, and I'm gonna give you as much knowledge as I can as fast as possible. So I hope y'all got some pens and paper, whatever ready. So when you're looking at your credit score, you have three different credit scores. You have a TransUnion credit score, you have an Equifax credit score, and you have a Experian credit score. All of them are supposed to be the same, technically. Put FICO score on this thing. When you're trying to go do something, most of the time they're looking at your FICO score. You're going to buy a house, they're looking at your FICO score. You're going to get a car, they're looking at your FICO score. And this is how your FICO score is calculated. Your payment history, which is 30% of your credit score, which means no late payments, y'all. Whatever it is on your credit report, if it's on your credit report, pay it on time. If you don't pay it on time, guess what? Guess how many points of late payment? Anybody in the chat know how many points of late payment can cost you on your credit score? Just take a guess. Everybody take a guess. Take a guess.
50.
Jimmy gonna know the right answer. Jimmy
50
gonna know the right
points.
answer. He
50
know the right
points.
answer. He been hanging around me. Because you made one late payment. Don't pay nothing late on your credit report ever. It's 100 points. Okay, so the amount owed is 30% of your score. So that's another word for utilization. So always give the people the example. So say for instance you had a $10,000 credit card. You don't want 30%, more than 30% to report on your credit card. You can use the whole 10,000 this whole month. But before they pull it, you want to make sure that balance is back down to at least $3,000. If not, your utilization is going to be high, your score is going to go down. This is how credit is calculated. The credit history is 15. Your score. New credit is also it's a 10% factor of your score. So that's like getting a new car here and there. Inquiries and stuff also bring your scores down. And that's a part of the new credit thing also. Your credit mix is your credit profile is the most important thing when it comes to business funding. Like if your credit profile is not good, your credit score is really not good. Like because somebody can have a 700, like I just said, and not be able to go get a car off the lot because their credit profile is too thin. You need to have multiple things on personal loans, mortgages, things like that. You need to have multiple different things on your credit report. And now I'm done with this slide. I need some ones in the chat if y'all are with me, and I need some ones in the chat if y'all are understanding what I'm saying. Credit mix, different track. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all with me. All right, we're gonna move on to the next thing. Quick wins. This is some quick things that you can do yourself that can help you with your credit score. The authorized user hack. So say for instance, you know somebody with good credit and they have a card, they have a 1020 $20,000 credit card on your profile and all of your cards are maxed out. You're using your whole 20,000 that you have and they add 20,000, that drops your utilization to 50%. You can literally play with your credit score by making a phone call to somebody that you know with good credit. The utilization spot, like I was just saying, the 10,000 and the $3,000 thing. The sweet spot is really 10%. If you really want to boost your score faster, 10% is the thing. So if you got a $10,000 credit card, don't let over $1,000 report to it. A goodwill letter. If you do have any of those late payments, which I promise you, most of us probably do. I don't nobody ever pay everything on time. You probably have a late payment. If you have a late payment, the first thing you need to do, you need to pull your credit report and you need to open ChatGPT or Claude or AI, whatever thing you is. We all using it. Open it up, put your credit report in there. I'm trying to dispute this late payment. Can you write me a goodwill letter? Blah, 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 blah. Send it certified mails and you make sure you keep you some copies of it. You might get you a couple late payments deleted before you come talk to me because I got it down to a science. And you want to file your disputes every 45 days because applying for something, they got 30 days to, finish the dispute, and then 15 more days, 2 weeks after that, you should be clear. Business credit. Are y'all still with me? Let me get some ones if y'all still with me. Y'all still with me? I don't want to keep talking and y'all not with me. If you got any questions, you can put them in the chat. Maybe I'll try to answer them if I can. If it's some quick questions, I can try to answer them while I'm going through here. Your business credit and your personal credit, two different things. Your personal credit profile, you need to build it up and basically never touch it again, to be honest with you. If you build up your credit profile, your personal credit profile, and say you got a good credit profile, you got a 780, and then you go set up a business. When you get business credit cards and things like that, they only use your personal profile for the inquiry, which means it's not connected to your personal name. So if your business fails, guess what? You're still protected. You're fine. You can get up and move to Hawaii tomorrow because your credit score is going to be fine. You put it under a business. That's what they give us this for. Inquiry removals. You can go on YouTube and look up videos literally of how to remove inquiries. Make sure they're not connected to an account on your stuff, and you can remove it. Like I tell people a lot, like when you go get a car, the car dealership doesn't care about, because as long as until they get you approved. So now on your credit report, you got 10 inquiries from Ford Motor Credit because you went to go try to get a car and your score is going down. You trying to figure out, well, dang, I just got this car. Why my score going down? Inquiries make you look thirsty. You got too many inquiries. You looking too thirsty. You asking too many people for money. You look thirsty. Okay. And you can dispute collections with a 609 letter. Plus the debt validation. Make sure if you do try to fix your own credit, make sure you send your own documents in. They want to see a proof of address, your ID, and your social security card. Attach that to the end of every dispute letter that you send out. Let me know if y'all with me still. And if you do, it says you'll get results in 30 to 90 days. You will literally get results in 30 to 90 days. Call one of your friends and ask them to add you as an authorized user and see if your credit score go up. And like TK said, well, this is called Master Wealth Builders, and most of us are in here because we have built businesses, and your structure for your business is the most important thing when it comes to funding. Because if you don't structure your business properly, they will not give you any money. They will flag you every single time. It helps you get approved for more funding, gives you separates your personal and business liabilities, it protects your assets and things like that. Different structures qualify for different funding amounts. The IRS and the state compliance depends on the correct structure from day one. They want to make sure everything is adding up. They don't want your home address here, and then you got a new business. Look like a business. You don't look professional. A business is professional. We have to look as professional as we can. So I made this up. Now, when I first made this, I called it a ghetto business, but I'm trying to be more professional and stuff. So I don't call it ghetto anymore. I call it a backyard business. But I can say this because I had a backyard business. I set my stuff up. I inched my way up until I, figured out exactly what to do. So these are the things, these are the bank no-nos right here. You go in there, you're using a Gmail address, flag. You don't look credible. You go in there, you don't have any, you got your cell phone and your business phone is the same number, flag. You don't look real. You don't look like you put time into your business. And these are the other things: the Google profile, the EIN, business credit profile. I don't know if you know anything about that. You have a Paydex score. It's called Paydex, and it's 0 to 100. A DUNS number. It's free. It's free. The DUNS number is free. But if any of these things right here will get you denied for funding. So a legitimate business is a professional looking business. You have a brick and mortar. Your email address is at yourbusiness.com, not at Gmail. Your business phone number is a 1-800 number. Just imagine, I always use this example. If it's us walking in there, we're walking into the bank trying to get some funding. And the people from Walmart walk in there and we go in there and we tell them, oh yeah, I'm using this Gmail address. Yeah, my office building is my home. And then the people from Walmart walk in there, we got this office over here, our 1-800 number is here, our website is here, this, and that. Who's gonna get the money? Who's gonna get the money? Who's winning? Walmart or us? Walmart. So these are the things. These are the things that you need to get funded. You need your Google profile to be verified. Your LLC needs to be good, structured properly, up to date, articles of incorporation, operation agreement, things like that. Your DUNS number. You can get that stuff for free. Like if you talk to me, I am the cheap way out, okay? I go the cheapest route possible. I'm telling you right now, I know a website is called Zoho. Write it down. Put it Zoho. Write it down. You can get a free business email address. I'm about to run this down to y'all. Write this stuff down. Uh, um, uh, freedomvoice.com. You can get a 1-800 number for $9.99 a month. And you can redirect it to your cell phone just to make you look credible. A domain. You can buy your own domain from Namecheap for $11. Your Google profile, set it up. If you set up your business the right way with a registered agent, you'll have a business address. DUNS number. You can get it online for free. Did it sound like it was a lot of money to go get that? So all that stuff that I just told you to be credible, does that sound like a lot of money? A LLC is like $50. You can start a whole business with less than $300, y'all. And right here is my clothing brand, Careless LLC. And I'm not just talking. I actually do this thing. This is my business. This is my business address. It's an office building in Troy. It's a 1-800 number. I have 46 Google reviews. I'm not just talking, y'all. This is what I do. And this is a testimonial.
I'm Tasha, and I am working with Will Holmes and his Blueprint team on my credit score. My credit score was at 630, and he got it up to 702. And I was hit with some late payments from student loans to drop my score down to 596. He got some things removed, a couple of things changed, and my credit score now is 738. I love the fact that he got my stuff together.
And that is all that I have for you guys today. Thanks for your attention. Thanks for your time and listening to me. Here are all my socials from my businesses, my email. Speak, and that is all I have.
Well, I just want to say thank you for joining. This is a perfect example. You are a perfect example of the synergy and the network that we are trying to establish. We do this every single month. We ask you to bring someone and come back. And you are a perfect example because you were here in December and you brought someone and you came back. So not only do you have a wealth of knowledge, the way in which business owners work together is how we're trying to use you as an example to say, listen, you came, you saw, you did, and you presented. So I thank you for presenting because that was a wealth of information, and it's in our community, for melanated people.
Problem. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Yeah,
I'm
so
gonna
thank you.
drop my Calendly link just in case anybody wants to do like a consultation. I'll put it in the chat.
Please do. Thank you so much, Will. I'm just going to back up everything TK say. We're happy to have you. Everything you say is what I've done for a living over the years. I came from banking. I came from funding. It was so funny. This is a perfect segue into our next speaker because you need to have your credit on point and certain things in place when you're going after business loans. I worked in banking as a small business lender in national banking, and people come to us and just apply and like, well, do you have these type of things in place? What it's not just your credit score. It's sometimes some of the things that are on your credit that make a difference. Everything you just said is what I talk to people about every day. So we are thankful. This is our credit partner. So we will be working collectively with everybody that's here. Even if you're not a part of this organization, we will all have conversations to make sure we are accountable for what we're doing first, but also sharing it with everybody else in our communities. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so this was perfect, everybody. This leads us to our next segue and our next speaker, where give me 1 second. I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. And everybody, bear with me. I have been having a little bit of technical issues all night, but we are going to move forward. And my next speaker is Andrew Kuby. So, Andrew, if you're there, he is the president of U.S. Commercial and Capital. Do you need to share your screen, Andrew?
Okay.
Andrew, do you need to share a screen?
I don't need to share screen.
Oh, okay, no worries.
I mean, I can.
All right, so Andrew is the president of U.S. Commercial and Capital. He's been doing what he's been doing for over 30 plus years. So I'm going to let him take it away, introduce himself and his business, and be able to provide you the insight that he's going to get ready to talk about.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me tonight. Can everybody see me?
We can see you.
Okay, wonderful. So I've been in lending for 30 years. I started off in the residential mortgage business, managing loan officers, probably over 100 loan officers in my career. And well, actually, before 2019, it was probably around 2017. 2019 is when I started my own business, U.S. Commercial and Business Capital. And what we do is on one side of our business, we work with real estate investors. We help real estate investors develop, purchase, refinance any type of commercial property out there. And so I have been able over the years to establish relationships with different lenders, banks, private money, family office, depending on the ask and what that investor needs. It's mostly on the debt side, but sometimes I'm asked to find some equity partners as well on commercial real estate. Where I have the most passion is hundreds of lenders across the country to help the clients find the cheapest down payments, the lowest interest rates, the best terms with the lowest cost. And that's what we do on that side of our business. On the other side of our business, where I think I have the most passion for is I help business owners. I help business owners get the money to start businesses, buy businesses, grow their existing business, and franchise. And I mainly do this through the resources that I have with about 30 to 40 SBA lenders across the country. And if depending on what bank you go into, it's sometimes hard for people to find lenders to lend them money to start a business. And so every month I'm helping somebody start a business. And typically when you want to start a business, you want to have some experience in the business that you're starting. You want to have credit is important. Credit scores are important. We just learned why that is the case, because it helps you get the cheapest money. That's the main thing. And it can save you hundreds of thousands of dollars over the life of a loan. So, there's some SBA lenders that will go down to a 600 or 640, but it costs you a lot more money. Once you get the scores up to around the 680 on up range, now you're getting the cheapest money. And so it is important when you're starting a business to get the cheapest money as possible, and having, good credit scores is definitely an important part of that. The way that works is if somebody comes to me and says they're looking to start a business, and let's say they need 500,000, and borrow the 500,000, that money is on a 10-year amortization, which is much longer than banks, because banks will do 5-year amortizations for business loans. So it's money that's spread out a longer period of time. However, if you're able to, when you start a business, it's smarter to own the real estate when you start a business. There's a couple of reasons why, because now when that lender $100,000 or $1 million or whatever that is, now all the money that they borrow is on a 25-year amortization. So when you look at if you're just looking at payments alone, when you look at a rent payment and a loan payment with a 10-year amortization and there's real estate involved, the payment sometimes could be lower if you actually own the real estate. And then when you're starting a business, when you qualify, everything is based. So it's a lot easier to buy real estate, when you start a business, opposed to when you're in year one and you're starting to grow, but you're not showing a profit yet, and now you're kind of stuck. So those are some good things to know about starting a business. When you're looking to buy a business, it's the same thing. When you buy a business, there's no real estate involved. It's going to be on a 10-year amortization. So sometimes, even if you're buying a business without real estate, it's smart to have a little office. And the rule of thumb is, as long as you operate half of that space, 51% for your business, you can lease out or rent out the rest. It's an ace in the hole. We're not counting that income. There has a lien on, so it definitely helps out. And when you're trying to grow your existing business, there's a lot of neat programs out there for people that do the SBA that they don't know about. Because again, when I'm dealing with 40 banks, everybody's got a little different appetite for startups, for the restaurant business, for anything hospitality. Some like it, some love it, or don't like it, some love it. And so when you go into your bank or you go into a couple places and they're saying, hey, put 20% down or we can't help you, it doesn't mean that you can't get help. It just sometimes it takes me, in some cases, I've had to reach out to 25 to 30 lenders just to get one to believe in the client that I'm working with and the client's business. So when you're growing your existing business, you can get an SBA loan under the 7A program. So the 7A program allows you to, and this is for all the startup, buying a business, growing your existing business or franchise. The 7A is what you use. But keep in mind that in all these scenarios, what people don't understand is the government through the SBA has set aside $5 million for all of us. Here, I believe do. So, everybody has $5 million. It used to be per person. Now it's per business. So you have $5 million for every business that you want to start. If you grow your existing business and you're leasing property right now for your business, I even have programs that you can potentially buy commercial real estate for no money down and walk away with cash, which is, before I found out about this program, I thought there had to be some type of cash. Securitizing and backing the loan for the banks and all that most of that loan. So the banks don't have as much risk. So they basically say, hey, instead of doing this at a 10% down, we feel comfortable doing it at 100%. So, and some of these banks that are doing this have the lowest rates out there for business owners. So if you're leasing, if you own real estate right now and you want to buy more, or if you're looking at buying real estate for your business,
it definitely helps you when you retire and you want someday you want to sell your business or leave a legacy for your children. By owning that real estate, it really puts you in a position to be able to do that. And then lastly, franchising. I work with franchisors, helping their franchisees get funding. And it's very similar to starting any type of business, except, when there's a franchise that backs that business, that can show numbers of what their franchisees, historically do. It helps that sometimes that business owner get a loan. But so that's what we do as a company. We help out business owners on one side. We help out real estate investors on the other side. We do help out residential, but we do focus mostly on the commercial side. So anybody that has a tough residential deal, I would be a good resource for. But and then there's all kinds of other ways that business owners can get money. And I know where all the cheap money is for business owners, and I know where all the expensive that you can't find on your own. Again, that saves you tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars over the life of those loans. But whether you're a business owner that's been in business for a while, that might have good money coming through your checking account or your credit card account, but you're not showing a profit yet, there's banks out there that will lend you money, not merchant cash advance lenders. There's actual banks that will lend you money. About the money that you get, make sure that it makes sense for your business. And if you need to use me as a resource, I'm here to help.
All right. Thank you so much, Andrew. Are you still talking?
No, I think I've about said it all.
Oh, wow. You said a lot. Well, Andrew, you always come here giving us a lot of nuggets and tools, but I want to make sure we get all the information we need from you while you're here. Does anybody have any questions for Andrew while we're here? And you can put your hand up. But if you don't have any questions, I actually have one based upon what you said. So I do have a few clients that I'm currently working with. And sometimes I find some clients currently they have an existing business. They've been doing it for a while, but they have a lot of assets, but they don't have any liquidity. So they're trying to figure out how to balance and how to free up funds. And they've already done a lot of maybe leveraging, lending, and things of that nature. What are some of their options, especially if they have credit challenges?
Well, I mean, if they have credit challenges and there's no type of I guess collateral, it's hard for those types of people to get money. So the best thing that they can do is get their credit fixed, get their credit scores up, put themselves in a position to get cheap money, right? When I say that is, a lot of people don't want to face their credit challenges, and it ends up costing happen. And we're very lucky to have somebody part of the team that is an expert at it that can help us.
Yes, we are. We are. Thank you for Will today, because he kind of led you in, ushered you in with the credit conversation. Yeah, it's just good to know. And we're always encouraging people to work on their credit, but sometimes people are in a now situation. But are you saying if they do have collateral, let's say they have properties, they have equipment, are there ways for them to lend or leverage the collateral that they have?
Yeah, there's private money out there for people that potentially we could find somebody if they have collateral to lend them money. Absolutely. So
Okay, that's awesome. And I'm going to open up the floor just a little bit because we just had two in-depth sessions based on credit and funding, which kind of go hand in hand. Does anybody have any questions for Will or Andrew? Will in regards to the credit, and Andrew in conjunction with the business lending? You can also go ahead and unmute yourself if you have any questions. And if not, we're going to keep on moving right along. But I do thank you, Andrew. I just want to make sure everybody gets what they need. Even if somebody on our panel has a question, we all work with clients every day that have these type
Dante,
of
there were
needs.
some previous questions in the chat
Oh, okay.
when Will
Yes.
was speaking.
Okay, I'm reading it. So our personal credit matters for our business credit. So should we utilize our homes to gain funding to start a business? So yeah, I mean, sometimes the cheapest way and the easy way to get money is through your home. And it's not necessarily to touch your first mortgage if you have a good interest rate, because then you lose. They paid for to get it down to 23 years. So it's always smart to look at a different term if you're going to refinance the first. But I would suggest looking at a home equity loan or a home equity line of credit. And there's some other ways that could be just as cheap or cheaper to do that that I could talk to you about.
All right. Thank you, Andrew. And thank you for pointing out the question in the chat. I do see it. So yes, people, you can continue to question in the chat, but you are allowed. This is very interactive. You can unmute yourself and ask a question after each person has spoken. So we're going to move right along because we will still give time at the end for those that want to stay on to network and to ask more questions to our panelists. But I want to introduce now our next key speaker. She's just as important in this conversation because she handles the other type of opportunities to receive funding or money for your business through grants and other resources. So I'm going to introduce you, the great Angela Terrell. She has a wealth of information, knowledge. She comes from a prestigious background. So Angela, since this is your first time to our community, I know who you are, but I want everybody else to know who you are. Tell them about what you do. Tell them who you are, where you come from, and then you can go into what you're going to present to us. And I'll give you the opportunity to share your screen. Thank you for being here, Angela.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Shantae. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Good night, good evening, wherever you are. I appreciate this opportunity, TK and Shantae, for allowing me to come on and share a little bit about who I am and what we do and what I do. So let's see, where do I begin? Angela Terrell, I am Principal Consultant of Grace Grants. We are a grant writing service. We provide grant research, grant writing, grant editing. We provide nonprofits with impact reports and annual reports. We also provide nonprofits with social media as well. We're a budding organization. We started in June of last year, but we've been writing grants. My team, they actually popped on here. Shelly Smith and India Young are here in the room as well. But been writing forever, for over 20 years. And so it's a great opportunity for us to come together collectively and share our gifts and talents with the nonprofit community. We don't yet work with for-profit companies. We persistently get people asking us for that as a service, so maybe down the line, but right now our bread and butter is grant writing. So we'd love to meet with any of you who have that need. So I'll be brief. And she wanted me to share a bit about my background. I used to work for public television. So I used to work for a show called Nightly Business Report on public TV, and started out as a production assistant and worked my way up to doing some on-air work for the show prior to it being acquired by CNBC. So I love all things business. That's how I started my career, and I'm happy to be here. So now a little bit about grants and obtaining grants. Many nonprofit leaders think that they are ready to apply for grants, but instead they are faced with delay and disappointment. Why? Because they're not ready. And so we want to get you all ready. And if you are a nonprofit, you can also think about if you're for-profit, many let me pull this up. And we will get into it. And then if you have any questions at the end, feel free to let me know. So it says I'm screen sharing, and there it is. All right, so I will start. So mastering grant readiness, that's just a few slides we'll go through. Feel free to screenshot some of these tips so that you can be properly prepared for when you decide to write grants, either for your business or for your nonprofit. Okay, so this is a sort of like Will was talking about, you've got to be prepared. You've got to have your documents in order. Spend some time getting your documents in order. And we've got attorneys on the line as well. So I'm happy to hear that they are present as well, because it's very important that you have a solid legal foundation. Please verify that you have a 501c3 a determination letter and an EIN number with the IRS. But many nonprofits don't have these things, or they're registered with we have one client in particular who is registered with the IRS, but she is just now becoming the executive director of a nonprofit and can't find any of the documentation. So her predecessors didn't keep good records. And so she's now having to literally dig up the EIN letter that was sent to her from the IRS many years prior. So things like that, just being organized and maintaining current articles of incorporation and a certificate of good entity type. Be sure you know what your legal entity type is. Ensure that you're registered to operate in all the states that you are serving as well. Formalize an official non-discrimination statement for the organization. There are many grants that will ask for this statement. And so you can certainly use ChatGPT or any of the AI tools to create something, but just be sure that you have that ready. Next, governance and leadership. Have a detailed board of directors listing their names, their titles, and their affiliations. And please, 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 please let it not be all of your family members, your aunt, your cousin, your mother, your father, right? I get when you're a new nonprofit that you're just simply trying to build and you're trying to meet a need, but the whole board can't be your family members, okay? So many funders obviously will look frown expertise. How are they relevant to what you're trying to do and the people you're trying to serve? Very important. Next up, defining your strategic fundamentals. So clearly articulating your purpose and planning allows funders to see the long-term viability of your mission. They want to know that you're going to last. Right? If they're going to give you money, they want to know that you're going to last, that you have a sustainability plan in place, and that you're able to not take the money. They give you $25,000 this year, and then you're out of business next year. Right? That doesn't help anybody. Right? So develop a concise elevator pitch as well. So when you're talking to people, that you can tell them very clearly about vision statements, right? These are just some foundational pieces that you want to have in place. Maintain an updated business plan. Yes, we still need business plans in 2026. Please have one. And the reason for that, it really helps you think through all of the pieces of your business or your nonprofit, of things that you may not think about, right? So you can easily set up your business, right? Getting the LLC, Will told us all about how you can do that. It's easy to set up. Can you maintain it? Can you sustain it? Can you really have an impact on the people that you say that you want to serve, right? Right. So it's important to think about those things from the beginning. And then finally, have a statement of good standing and confirming IRS and state compliance, right? You want to be in good standing with your state. So Maryland, I'm here in Maryland. Anyone can go on the Department of Taxation and Assessments and see if your business is in good standing. So you may submit a grant application. The first thing funders are going to do is that when they're going to look at your website, So this is why we're sharing this today. So next up, let's see. You want to have your, let me pull the next page. These are highlighting, so it's coming. Your programs and strategic partnerships. Long gone are the days where you can be a single solo nonprofit and think that you can obtain a $200,000, $300,000 grant on your own. You have to. It is imperative that you have partnerships with people in your area or outside of your area, but whomever you're serving, you need to have strategic partnerships. And that's why what TK and okay, so detailed program descriptions. What is it that you're doing, covering who, what, where, and how many people are served? Many times nonprofits, they don't have the metrics. They don't keep the data. They don't know how many people they're serving. They don't know the impact that they have. And so when it comes time to write the grant, we was like, okay, you've had all these programs throughout the year. You've been very busy. You've had this event. You've had 5, 6, 7, 8 events. But were you changed by what you did, right? So another client is a STEM client, and very busy, very active, but hasn't tracked the data to know. He teaches middle and high school students STEM programming. But how many of those students have actually gone into STEM? That would be a good number to know. That's something that we could put in an impact report, right? How many students have attended for current and future activities? What are you doing in the future? It's good to know. Existing memorandums of understanding. So this same entity has a memorandum of understanding with a local college and university. Funders love that. They want to know that you've got a heavy hitter that can help you out, that you're not doing this solo, that you've got resources available. Letters of support or recommendations from key letters of support from any corporate vendors or sponsors that have participated in your programming. Anytime anybody gives you any money, anytime any corporation or sponsor or vendor attends, get a letter of recommendation from them so that you can just tuck it away. So then when it's time for us to write the grants, we can pull out this folder. We can say, look at all of the partnerships and the strategic partners. You need a third-party entity that can come in and evaluate your programming to speak to that effectiveness. Just a few more slides here. Your financial documentation. So we got lots of people on the line here who can speak to this, right? But your current fiscal operating budget and your project-specific budgets, right? So there's your overall for your entire nonprofit, your fiscal year budget, and then there's your program budget. Each of your programs has its own budget. You need to know your numbers. You got to know your numbers. And so that's very important when it comes time for us writing the grants. Many cost of running the nonprofit itself. Two different sets of numbers. So you need to have that very clear. A clear budget narrative explaining how the funds are going to be used. They want to know where their money is going. Your most recent 1 to 3 years of 990 filings. It's all public information, right? So you want to be sure that one, that you are filing, but that two, that the 990s truly reflect the stance of your business, the progress of your business, who you are and what you're. Interesting percentage there. You want to watch that. You know, much of your money should be going to programs. It's not to say that your staff can't get paid. Funders want to see that your staff is paid. because that speaks to the sustainability of the nonprofit in your programming. But any excessive amounts, and there's some percentages that we can get into, then that's always frowned upon. It's like, this money seems to be lining your pocket, not going to the people that you say you serve. Audited and reviewed financial statements, documentation of internal funds or available matching funds. So it's always nice to find a grant where it'll ask for matching funds. It's good to have some. It's good to have some fun. And then your professional assets, branding and professional assets. So we'll talk about this. A professional visual identity across all communication assets ensures your organization is memorable to reviewers, right? So the language that we write as grant writers needs to match the language on your website, which needs to match the language on your social media, right? It needs to be a uniform story, right? So the same story we're telling funders needs to be the same story that you're saying on your website, needs to be the same story that you're posting in your social media, right? So that's why we started to build out. We're no longer just grant writers. We want to help nonprofits develop their full capacity of what they're saying and how they're branding themselves. And so I'm really excited about that going into the new year. So your official organization letterhead. We've encountered some nonprofits who head to speak of. So we've developed that. Comprehensive brand kit. What are your colors? We want uniformity, right? It just makes you look more professional, as we mentioned earlier. A functional website and a completed GuideStar profile. So there are national registries for nonprofits where you can go in and build out your profile. When you do that, you get a seal of approval. They vet you. It's funders love it because they know that you're being transparent with your information and that you are establishing yourself and you're really ready to do the work and you're ready to get funded. Identify missing assets for potential creation to improve your readiness. So that come to Grace Grants, we take them through all of this. There's a portion that the nonprofit has to do. There's a portion that we do. And then you're ready to apply for grants. And then finally, establishing social proof and your visibility, high quality photos and videos of your programs, your events, or your facilities. Any recent media coverage is always nice. Your most recent annual report. An optimized LinkedIn company page, very important. In this day and age, LinkedIn is gaining more and more traction. Established posting cadence and consistent content themes. So that speaks to having a uniform approach across all platforms. And then your operations and project readiness. Do you have the proper staff and equipment in place to do what you say you're going to do? And then leveraging your funding history is another piece where you can collect your past proposals. You can speak to your past funders. You can get a summary of your current grant applications that are currently pending. And that's money. So that's it. I appreciate the time. And here's my information. I've also dropped it in the chat. And I thank you all very much for your listening ear.
Well, we thank you, Angela. So happy to have you. All this information was fantastic. We talk all on a regular now, and these are all the questions that need to be answered for our regular clients that we talk to every day. I do have a question, and I'm going to open the floor for anybody that wants to ask you questions directly. You also mentioned you do have a program for sponsorships. Can you explain that?
Well, sure. Yes. So we've just started this because we have clients who have events that grants may not be appropriate for. So there are many times funders don't want to fund events. They want to fund your programs, but not, getting food and hosting of an event and renting a space and all different pieces of things that you want to do. But sponsorships, we are now working with clients to obtain sponsors for their events. And so we've got a great relationship with corporate entities that want to connect with small businesses and that want to connect with nonprofits. It gives them community exposure. And so they want to build these relationships. And so, yes, we are now working with sponsors. That just in the last couple of months, we've started doing that. And so it's been, it's a lot of work, but we've got the relationships and we're happy to be a part of it. Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And I have had people ask me these questions in the past, as business owners, like you just said, it could be depending on the type of function you're trying to do, whether you're trying to do an expo or, trying to do an event for the community or for the purposes of business seminars. It can be very costly, and sometimes we do rely on our vendors and other things to help with the cost, but we need to be able to say, hey, we're doing this for a great cause. And we just want to provide funding to be able to make this event or this type of expo or show go on.
Correct. Very good. Thank you again.
All right. Does anybody have any questions for Angela? You can go ahead and unmute yourself if you have any direct questions. And I am encouraging business owners when I am consulting with them now, for everybody that's listening. If you do have a for-profit side, that doesn't mean there are not grants available to you. But I do have some business owners that are doing both. They have a for-profit and they also start a nonprofit for a different purpose or a different reason that's associated with the business they currently have. So for some of the businesses out there, that may apply. So I'm going to make sure everybody keeps putting their information in the chat as everybody talks, just so we have a way to reach you. And we want to be able to know what you're doing so we can support your business and intentionally grow together. All right, so I'm going to keep it moving. I'm going to share my screen. Thank you so much again, Angela. And if anybody has questions while I'm transitioning, please go ahead, feel free to ask now. All right, and her information is here. I think she did. Angela, still make sure you drop your information in the chat. But this is her phone number, her website. If you want to share with them your email or another piece of information, you can definitely feel free to upload now. Okay. All right, next, Roderick. Sorry, we just had a little technical difficulty.
Resources, you'll see.
Can you hear us? Tom? Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, all I was saying is that Grace Grants is on our website. Go ahead, Roger.
And TK, look at your text messages on your phone now.
Okay. All right. We want to introduce our next short speaker, Roderick. Roderick is my partner in another business in First Financial Security, but he is so much more. He has so much to offer to this industry, and he is here to help small business owners with the services he provides through his bank and also through his own business that he's working to help others. Roderick, you can go ahead.
There you go.
Roderick, I did see
All
you
right,
here.
so I'll assume that I am here. Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Go right ahead. Take us away.
All right, again, my name is Roderick Johnson. I go by the name of Rod. I'm the first vice president at Eagle Bank's SBA Small Business Division. I'm also the president and CEO of RLJ Financial Consultants, LLC. We're a certified business enterprise in Washington, D.C., providing business and personal insurance. The lending process. But let me give you a little bit of background about me. I've been in commercial lending for 38 years. I started out in large corporate lending, which was lending to actually publicly traded companies. Then I went to middle market lending, and that was lending to companies with 20 million up to 500 million in revenues. Then I went to small business lending from startups to about $30 million in revenues. And then I lent to private industry firms, and we put out about $1.4 billion out on the street to support the growth of small businesses. Well, now I'm at Eagle Bank. I've been there 7 months. I'm heading up their SBA division. Now, what I have found just in the first almost 31 days of January is that loan demand is high from all of you entrepreneurs out there. But I'm going to focus on small business lending. All right. So, what are we looking at typically when you apply for a small business SBA loan? One, you must have a minimum FICO score of 650. Okay. Two, your business will be scored from Dun & Bradstreet. Now, the SBA is looking for your company to score typically between 80 and 95. If you don't know your Dun & Bradstreet score, go out there and find out what it is. The score is just from 0 to 100, but generally you want to, from a 75 to about a 90 is a good Dun & Bradstreet score. So that way you've now met the minimum for SBA. Now, the 5 C's of credit still apply, right? Character, which means we're talking about your reputation, capacity, your ability to repay, the capital. What type of collateral do you have to offer for the loan? So a lot of people ask, well, what is that collateral that you're looking for? And I usually say a house, marketable securities outside of a 401k plan, right? Money that can be in a savings account, checking account, an insurance policy, like a whole life policy, a universal life policy that has cash value, okay, or an index universal life annuity. All of those have cash value, okay? Or it can be a combination of those things. Loans must be secured. And then, of course, conditions. What is the purpose of your loan? Or what are the economic conditions that are going on around us? And that's been actually addressed earlier today. So if you're thinking about starting a restaurant, then you need to, really take a look at the economic conditions. That's just been mentioned before. The federal government's laying off, private industry is laying off. We have tariffs. We have changes in interest rate. All of these things, you've got to look at the economic climate in which you're going to be doing business in. Okay, that is really, really important. So that's what we mean when we talk about conditions. All right. Now, if you are a startup firm and the SBA is a good place to come to get startup money for your firm. All right. Typically, we're looking for 3 years of projections and month-to-month projections at that for 26, 27, and 28. Then we're going to be looking for a balance sheet, projected balance sheet and income statement. Also going to be looking at your personal assets. And again, that's important. Do you have personal assets to pledge? All right. Now, as it's been mentioned earlier, the SBA 7A program goes up to $5 million. There's also an SBA program called the Working Capital Program, which is basically a revolving line of credit that the SBA is now offering to business owners. That program goes up to $5 million. If you are an exporter of goods around the world, there's called the Export Working Capital Line of Credit. All right. All of these are SBA products. That's another that program also goes up to $5 million. And then you have what we call the 7A SBA Express, which is a line to fit the needs that you have for your growing business. Now, there are 4 people, and that, again, this has already been mentioned earlier, that are very instrumental for your business. That's a CPA, attorney, your insurance guy, and of course, your commercial banker. Now, how do you establish a relationship with a bank? Well, during this age and time, people are always generally doing their banking online, right? A lot of your transactions are handled online or on your phone. Okay. Well, you may want to take some time to go in and meet the branch manager, right? So they know you. Because if you have an overdraft and they don't know you, then they're not going to pay that overdraft because they don't know you. And they're not going to take that chance to pay the overdraft and not knowing that you're going to come in and make a deposit to cover that overdraft. I mean, that's a very practical reason to have a relationship with a branch manager. So it does pay to go in, have a relationship with that branch manager. Talk about what you're doing, okay, with your business, that you're growing. You want a new contract, okay? You got a new purchase order. Your revenues have grown. You're showing profitability now. You've been in business 2 years, and now you're showing a net profit. Talk about what your business is doing because they can be your internal advocate to introduce you to the person that's doing commercial lending. All right. And of course, let's make sure that you're depositing money in that bank. All right. And let me say this, the more services you have with the bank, the cheaper those services actually are to you. So for example, you have a business checking account, you have a personal savings account, you have a business money market account, you have a business checking account. That's 4 products already. Now you have now see, we call it in banking having the share wallet of the customer. All right. So now the more products you have, the cheaper those products cost. Bank, I need to have an account over at Wells Fargo and one at Bank of America. No, you don't. Okay. Banks pay attention to how many products you have with them, and that's how you become a valuable customer. And as it's been mentioned on here before about getting cheaper rates for credit, the bank having that share of wallet with you can lead to having, to pay. And then putting your package together, and I'll finish with that. Let's make sure that if you have been in business 2 years or more, all right, because people always, a business owner will come to me and say, well, what do you need to evaluate my credit request? All right, it's plain and simple. 23, 24, and 25 compiled, reviewed, or audited financial statements. Okay. We need an accounts receivable aging report, an accounts payable aging report. If you are doing government contracting, whether that is at the municipal level, state level, or federal level, right, then we need a contract backlog report. If you are a construction company, we need a work in progress report. Okay. The bank is going to ask you to fill out a personal financial statement so that they can get a feel for what your personal all right. Now, there may be some people on here that will disagree with this. All right. But I will say for me, I'm not an advocate of using H&R Block and some of the other tax companies out there to prepare my taxes. All right. Impressions make a difference. All right. I don't even, and I know how to do it. I don't even prepare my own tax returns, business or personal. I have a CPA. Actually, he's one of the founding partners of a CPA, a large CPA firm here. He actually prepares my business and personal tax returns. It just makes a good impression. Also, when a banker is looking at that, they feel as though they can rely on, excuse me, the financial information that they're looking at versus H&R Block or with that, I'd like to say that my role is I like to help people assist in making their dreams come true by providing the capital that they need to start and grow their businesses. So I'll close with that. And if you have any questions, put them in the chat or just, unmute yourself and I'll answer.
Well, I would like to say thank you for stressing the importance of relationship banking. I think a lot of times some of us that fit in the small business category overlook that importance. So you stressing it is something I would like to highlight. And then I also want to bridge the gap here because I don't want any of this information to feel overwhelming. If you feel like you don't have some of these checkbox, just know that Master Wealth Builders as a company fills that gap. So if you're looking at what these subject matter experts are saying and you're talking to yourself saying, I know I'm missing that, I know I'm missing that, we will fill that gap. Don't let it feel overwhelming. One of the things we do is hold your hand and help you to provide. Because a lot of organizations don't do that. A bank will just tell you, go get your stuff together and come back. So an organization like ours, we try to bridge that gap. So we hold your hand and get you through that process. Anybody else have any other questions? There's a question right there.
No, so Mr. Dines, I know George. It's been a while since I've seen him. I saw it, the question popped up about having multiple services at the bank, but I missed the rest of the question. So if you can unmute yourself, then I can answer the question.
Hey, Roderick. Just wondering if you had a preferred bank.
That actually is going to depend on the size. Well, if we're looking at businesses, I think it depends on the size of your company. So let's say, for example, if you're doing $1 million in revenue, and if you're doing, and don't take this the wrong way, because I'm not really disparaging any of the banks, but if you are doing, let's just say, $500,000 to maybe $1 million in revenue, JP Morgan Chase is not the bank that you should be having your relationship with. JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citibank, those are not the banks that you should begin your relationship with. Frankly, maybe it should be with an Eagle Bank, an Industrial Bank, a City First Bank, okay, that are actually community banks that, it's their job to actually make you feel welcomed into their facility. And they really want to help you succeed and grow. Typically, the larger banks that I just mentioned, if you're not doing $20 million in revenue, then they really don't want to talk to you. Okay. So to me, it's better that you start out with a community bank. And the community banks that I just mentioned. And also, by the way, Harbor Bank, who's headquartered in Baltimore, just opened a branch in Silver Spring. So I need to add them to the list. All right.
Yes,
So
right.
Harbor
We were
Bank
there
is
for the grand opening. We were
yeah,
there. Yes.
yeah. So so Harbor Bank is another bank that I think you should, strongly consider. When you are a small company, I think that the personal touch and hand-holding of the people at the community bank is very important for you and your company. So I'm very high. And look, I've worked, and frankly, I started my career, if you're from this area and you're old enough, right? You may remember a bank called Suburban Bank, and then we became Bank of America. Okay. So if you're old enough to remember that, I'm an old guy. All right. And then, I've worked for Wells Fargo and Citibank. And there's a big difference between those three banks that I just mentioned versus the community banks. Okay. I'm telling you, the community banks are the way to go when you are a small business. All right. And when you walk into the branches of a community bank, those tellers, the branch manager, all of those people know who you are. All right. And that is exactly what you want. You want to be known within that bank. And I'm telling you, the more services that you have with that bank, the more important you are to that bank. Okay.
Thank you so much, Roderick. I can add to that. So we both have same overlapping careers. I was in banking. My last bank was TD. So I will say the reason I did take the position at TD as a small business relationship manager is because they did cater to smaller businesses and startups. So they were a bank that will take and use your personal credit score as collateral, or maybe getting a guarantor. We even took a guarantor as well. So meaning it makes it easier to be able to get your first business credit card, line of credit, letter of credits. There's so many different things, but when you have that relationship, as I stress to all my clients, that is the way to go. First National Bank is another one, Roderick. Harbor Bank, I have established the relationship since they have started here in Silver Spring, but we have established a relationship also with the branch or the down in Baltimore as well. So there's a lot of different options. Just pick all of our brains. We've been in this industry. I started in banking over 25 years ago. So, between me, Andrew, you, and a couple other people, we'll guide you to the right direction. It just depends on what you're doing and what you're trying to establish, what's going to be the best fit for you. All right. But of course, I'll recommend Roderick first. So I'm going to keep it moving. George did let me know he had an emergency tonight, but this is a perfect segue from what Roderick just talked about in regards to taxes. Now, George is a connoisseur of everything. He's a businessman. He's been in government. We do have a young lady that I'm going to just make sure she introduces herself before she leaves. I didn't even know her and George knew each other, but he was a mentor. They worked together. I'll let her tell the story. But George has over 25 years. He's an MBA in finance, MBA in psychology. He is a certified fraud examiner, tax preparer. Me and George are working together this tax season. So I have been a tax professional, ran my own tax franchise for almost 10 years. I still operate and I'm running a tax season, but guess what? I need to be able to do other things with what I'm trying to do and help in the small business community. So I'm working collectively with George so we can work together to be able to help people and service people. So the only thing I have to say, I'm not going to take long because I know we're running short on time. And we have an event coming up where we're going to talk about more in the lane of what me and TK are doing and focusing on this year for our business clients and others, which is FICA tax, business succession planning, and long-term planning strategy. I don't even talk about retirement anymore. It's really how to leverage your assets. He just said, and to qualify for certain funding, they do look at if you have insurance with living, like with cash reserve, if you have annuities or a fixed retirement account that you can leverage, not use it, keyword. As a tax accountant, I do not advise to take withdrawals and get that 10% penalty on a hard-earned money you work just to start your business or to take out for supporting your business. I've seen business owners do this a lot, where they withdraw money to support their business. That's not the way to go. So you want to be able to leverage and use that as income. It can be counted as income towards your, overall, when we're looking at your income and assets as lenders. So I just want to make sure you guys are clear that in taxes this year, there's a lot of changes, but a lot of good changes. I've been teaching the Secure 2.0 Act in separate taxes since it came out in 2022. Most people don't know every year up until 2030, there are being implemented changes to the retirement code and how it's taxed and how it's looked at. Most people don't know they don't have to take the required RMDs now up until age 73. And up until 2030, they're going to start changing it to age 75. So now that gives you a whole lot more time to save, to figure out other options. If you're going to use Social Security, maybe Social Security will be here, will not, we don't know. But I'm telling people don't depend on Social Security. But we have a class coming up where we're going to go very in depth, especially as self-employed people. We want to make sure we self-direct our own savings, our own health benefits, retirement benefits. And if we have employees and we are employers, we want to make sure we're giving them the best benefits. So we're not going to go deep, but I'm going to give you the information of you to be able to tune into that meeting. It's going to be on February 17th at 7 p.m. Carmen and I are doing it together because she's going to cover the trust and estate planning side, but we're going to cover the details of the options you have now. And the only tax advice I am going to give today, I always tell people, if you need to offset because you did not plan financially last year, we do have annuities that are self-directed IRAs. Both Roderick and I, we work with the same company where you can actually contribute $5,000 in cash, and that could be a write-off if you didn't do any cash contributions to your retirement last year, or you did not start your savings journey. You have until April 15th to start setting up your self-directed IRAs. You can do it in the form of an annuity. We have some annuities that are giving up to 14 to 21% bonus on any funds you roll over. If you are over the age of 50, there is an increase this year on the amount that you can contribute. If you're in that higher range where you need to play catch up, in the big beautiful bill, there was an increase level on a significant increased contribution level. So we will go more into detail in that in February, but I just want to make sure you're aware of that now. I'm sorry, TK, I'm breaking up. I can't hear you. All right, so very quick. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
So yeah, I got you. No, I was just saying, Shantae, I was trying to sum you up. You keep freezing. But what we're trying to say is that there are a lot of services. What we're trying to do as Master Wealth Builders is to be in one. Review the recording. Which one? Get something out of the information we're providing. I know a lot of people are texting saying they have to go off. Melissa Alvarado is our next speaker. Is she still here? Does she show up?
And she's just going to keep it brief. She's just going to just give us a few tidbits. She's going to be talking more in our next upcoming webinar. And we do have that one scheduled for February 26th. So Melissa can go ahead, just give them some insights. She's on the
Yes,
rotate
hello
time.
everyone. I hope everybody's staying warm. We're going to be very, very brief. Available out there. We specialize in first-time home buyers. We specialize in down payment assistance, VA, and of course, self-employed clients who may have a good revenue in bank statements and profit and loss, but then tax returns are a little bit shy of what they're really making. So we can definitely help you with that. So yeah, I'm just here available for the team, whoever needs any information regarding mortgages, residential investment, 10 units, commercial, everything. Just let me know. Fix and flip as well. So we do all that. I just wanted to say hello, introduce myself, and of course, wish you all a very good night. Okay, so I'll put my information in the chat.
Yes, please do. Thank you so much, Melissa. We will be seeing you on February the 26th. That's going to be our next webinar, and we'll go more into detail of options, you know, for whether you're an individual and homeowner or also for business owners. And I believe Paul came back. Can you just speak for us very quickly? Are you still there, Paul?
Yes, I'm here. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm just enamored. So many great speakers here. Thank you, Shantae, for inviting me. And just want to say thank you. Look forward to the next one. so much information, great speakers, great information. Looking to connect with them. This is wonderful, what y'all put together. So I'm just elated at this time. And I'll share more about what I do. I basically, similar to what some of the people who have came on, grant funding, all things funding, real estate, business. I've saved over 1,000 homes nationwide from going to foreclosure. And have a retail. We have a fragrance line from Dubai, men and women fragrance, as well as clothing line. But I just want to be short and brief. I know everyone's trying to get back to their prospective businesses, but I thank you so much. Thank you for the invite. And we'll bring more to come and share. So just thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Paul. We do want to let you know of the things we have coming up. You know, we are connected. We have our own businesses we run. Destiny Financial Solutions is the business where I run my tax consulting. And of course, me and TK together through Master Wealth Builders are educating and bringing resources to our community. All of our partners you saw today are on the website. This is our educational workshop series. This is put on, and this is a certified literacy financial program we're implementing in schools, churches, and community organizations all over the countries. National First Financial Security, our local regional office, just got this in all of Maryland school districts. We're working on Fairfax, Prince William, and other school districts nationwide. Hold on. I'm sorry, my screen is freezing, but I'm going to skip over our part because today we're just going to focus on February 17th. But these are the things we're addressing: economical issues. This is the real issues. This is the issues these are the numbers we were at prior to this administration. So keep that in mind. I'm not saying nothing bad. I'm not going to talk about politics, but in reality, economic instability are going to increase these numbers. These things are real as people continue to lose their jobs. And as different things are happening in our economy, we just want people to be better prepared. And we do have solutions for employers, employees. We talk about all these different functions of savings, how you're managing your money, where you're putting your money is important. I don't believe that, that the way you manage your money is not just about your business, but also how you manage your money in personal also reflects how you can manage money in business. So it's just as important. We are showing people ways of how they can get their money out the market. I don't have anything against the market. You want to have a diverse portfolio, just make sure you're checking in with your financial advisor on a regular basis. If you do have Charles Schwab, Edward Jones, I used to work with TD Ameritrade, but right now I focus on helping people putting their money in self-directed accounts, especially for business owners. Index annuities, they have a lot of opportunity. These are some of the things that we're offering right now that offer 14 to 21% on contributions. And those are the minimum requirements for teaching strategies like this. You will learn more about this on February 17th. But if you're a real estate investor, if you're a business, if you are trying to find ways to collateralize your property, there are so many different things you can do. We also have the Employee Well program. TK will be talking about that as well in another event. But we just want to make sure that you have an overview and overhead of understanding how it works. So if any of you guys know any businesses that have 10 employees or more, or if you yourself have a business with 10 employees or more, definitely come talk to us. One of the ways we're working during tax season and all year round is helping them with FICA tax discounts, letting them know what they're entitled to through the Big Beautiful Bill and other tax credits that have gone before, how we're putting money back in the pockets of those particular companies. These are some of the companies already participating in the program: school districts, government organizations, and companies. So what our theme is we always say it's your life, it's your business, it's your family, it's your plan. So it's up to you to incorporate the things that we're talking about today. If you want to schedule a consultation, all of our first consultations are free. We don't charge. I used to work for CPA firms where we can charge anywhere from $150 to $450 an hour just to get some of the information that you got today. We're laying all this. You didn't have to pay to get here. We're not charging you for it. But the conversation, of course, yes, there are paid services that all of us collectively do. We do need to get paid for what we do in certain circumstances. But at least we can just start the process of talking. How can you incorporate all these things we're talking about today? Whether it's credit, whether it's funding, whether it's grants, whether it's legal help. We know all these things cost, but sometimes strategically we can come up with a plan so you can cover those costs. So we just want to have that conversation, see how we can work with you to help you. The next event that we're having online is February 17th. You can scan the barcode here. This is for the long-term planning that we're doing with Carmen Booker. So we're going to talk about the importance of trust, insurance, and long-term retirement planning. Because retirement planning is not the old school way. There's a lot of things happening in our economy, inflation. You have to be prepared. You cannot rely on Social Security. You can't just rely on your 401k alone. You need to know what all of your options and how they work together collectively for you. And most importantly, if all of you are not connected on our Facebook page, please join our follow us on Facebook. We have a group called Master Wealth Builders where we're constantly posting. My bishop just taught a word on biblical principles of how we're supposed to pass on generational wealth, how we're supposed to operate as a business, biblical principles, as families, as individuals, as a community, and how we have to work as an ecosystem. We still work with everybody. Everybody here is all different nationalities, races. We all have to work together as one. But especially in our communities, there are disparities. So we need to make sure we're educating everybody, Hispanics, Caribbean, African, all nations, no matter where you're representing them from. So definitely scan. If you have any questions, inbox us. We're also having I have a collective and collaborative in-person event. So this is not a party. This is a business networking group. I have been working with them for quite some time now. The person that's putting on the event, I've known for over 20 years. He does big things between here, all around the United States, really, but especially in Atlanta and the DC region. So if you are here locally in the DMV, I will tell you to come out because you will meet some great people, political leaders, people that are trying to be movers and shakers, make change in our community, and other business-minded and business owners just like yourself. It's not going to be networking as usual. And when I'm involved, it's not about just hanging out and having fun. We want to make sure we're intentfully talking to each other, networking. It only takes one person you can meet at one of these events that can make a difference in your business. So make sure you do reach out, get on the guest list. It's free. I'm not charging for that either. And we just want to make sure you get everything you need. So we don't have much time for the networking tonight, but if anybody does want to stay on, introduce themselves. I know I did see Lakeisha Love here today. She's not going to be speaking, but I do want her to introduce what she does, what her background is in the city. She does have the association to George Dines. Lakeisha, are you still there?
No, I think she left. A lot of people have already
Yeah,
logged
I'm
off.
aware. We were
So-
only
she
scheduled
dropped off.
for nine. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
if
fine.
there's- So
So
let's do
we'll
it
make
like this.
sure
If
we
there's-
introduce her the next time. If anybody else wants to just speak
Yeah, I was
very
gonna say that.
briefly, if you want to introduce yourselves, tell us how we can reach you and support your business idea, or if you have an existing business, how we can support you as well. All right, so you can unmute yourselves if anybody has any last remarks. If you're attending the event and you have any last remarks, you can speak now. I did see Dion join the call. If you would like to, he's all the way from via Baltimore. If you would like to introduce yourself, the businesses that you're doing, and how people can reach out to you. Dion, can you hear me?
Hey, yes, I can hear you.
Okay, go ahead.
Hey everybody. So my name is Dion. I just recently moved to Baltimore a couple years ago. Working on a couple of businesses. One of them is uh working here in Baltimore, trying to start kind of a local uh food growing network where we can kind of I guess have fruiting plants, strawberries, um, cucumbers, and different plants or different produce available locally, so you can kind of just buy as opposed to going to the grocery store because everything is getting more expensive. And having groups of people that can kind of do it ourselves, we can make it cheaper, affordable, more healthier. Um,
Okay.
I think that's currently those are the main ones that I'm working on.
All right. Well, thank you, Dion. Just make sure you drop your information in the chat so we can reach out to you just to keep you in the loop of everything we have going on. All of us collectively together do our own things. We have our own events. So we would definitely want to support you in any way we can in aiding you in growing your business. Okay.
So, is there anyone else that wants to shout out their business or at least participate in tonight's event? Please speak up.
Almost sounded like speak now or forever hold your peace.
So, I believe the recording was broken, so we won't have a full thing this time. But definitely, please keep in mind we do this every single month. The next one is already on Eventbrite. You can go to our website, masterwealthbuildersllc.com, and click on Eventbrite. You'll see everything we have upcoming. There's one in February, and then there's a special one just for trust, as Shantae said. So then to join the network in terms of strategic partnerships so that we can have an ecosystem where all of us have what we need in order to grow. I don't want you to stay on the solo dolo because the studies show, and there was a funny viral video with social media that went popular, but a 12-year-old girl proved that the rich, the one percenters, they all work together. There's no such thing as solo dolo except for us. We're the only ones that do it. So the higher you go up, the more they cross advertise, the more they own in each other's companies. We have to build our own ecosystem. We have to be strategic partners in our own growth. So that's what we're here for. We hope you enjoyed this webinar. Shantae, I'll leave it to you in terms of closeout, but we don't want to take up too much more of your time. And we apologize about the recording. Maybe next month it'll be better without being broken.
I'm still gonna, we got most of it. I only lost the very last part. So I'm still gonna edit it for YouTube purposes. So I will within 48 hours, along with the chat, I will send to everybody on this webinar. So that way you have everybody's information and you're able to rewatch or share with others. So we will still get an edited version in spite of our technical difficulties. I do apologize. But I do thank all of my hosts, my panelists. Do my panelists have any last remarks?
Yeah, come get the money.
All right, I love it. So yes, we want to get everybody in a position. So the money's there, like everybody said tonight. Andrew said it best, and so did Roderick. Just $5 million for you per business, not individually, per business. So we want to know, how do we get to that $5 million to help us so we can leverage to get to our next level?
All right. Well, thank you guys for coming out. We appreciate your time. We respect your time. Please come back next month and bring someone else.
Yes,
Yep.
and we'll send emails to everybody on here to make sure you have the links for the next upcoming events. Have a great day. Be blessed tonight. Stay warm. Be safe on the roads. Don't slip and slide, and take care.